Bryson DeChambeau said, I'm going to be a YouTuber, then fuck off. And that was quite a big statement.
Yeah, it was.
Bryson said, I love, Bryson, massive get for LIV. Massive get. One of the most popular golfers on tour. Obviously, big golf ball whacker guy on tour. He was an attraction. He became an incredible YouTube content creator. Very relatable. We started learning a lot about DeChambeau, and obviously he takes his talents over to LIV. Was still able to play in the majors. Played the best, I think, out of all the LIV players on a regular basis. Also became the most famous, most relevant in the entirety. Now getting back into the PGA from the LIV seems like something that might not be the easiest, it sounds like, from Bryson DeChambeau's point. He's out just focused on YouTube, bro. So I like that he's just potentially, is he just viewing himself as a retired golfer? I'm just a content creator, and then he'll get to play in the majors and then just kind of keep it moving, and this is his life now because he's already been paid $200 million from his last tour?
It's a great question. I believe this was like he said if LIV folded, so obviously we'll still have to see what's happening there. I would love to see how he would fare if he only did YouTube golf and then played the majors. Feels like something that probably wouldn't go well. This is a guy who did the crime and doesn't want to pay the time. Okay, that's kind of what Bryson's doing here. He wants everyone drop your egos, but he's not willing to pay any concessions for what he did. Okay, everyone's going to drop their egos except for Bryson. Okay, have fun, hit balls over your house and in little red cups, and then see how it fares at the majors.
Geez, sounds like you're pretty passionate about this. Did not expect that. I love when he was chipping it over his house 21 days or whatever it was. I enjoyed the content. Him showing up at majors, being able to play well, will certainly be a question mark. That's kind of been the LIV story of this whole thing. You guys got paid a lot of money. Do you still care about golf? DeChambeau has done well, and I think if he was to just go YouTube, he'd feel like he'd be representing the YouTube golfers out there in the majors.
He came here. Some in the back of the Thunderdome.
He was. He did.
I can't believe you're saying this about Bryce. But he'll be back in the PGA.
Yeah, he's one of the 5 guys we talked about earlier, like that Cam Young mentioned. There's a handful of people. He's one of them. Now, if Jon Rahm says that his contract is pretty tough to get out of till 2029, I'm assuming Bryson DeChambeau's contract is the exact same. So if there's just a little inkling of LIV where there's 25 people going to a Muni and they're going to put on some sort of tournament, which is kind of what I'm expecting at this point, and they're going to pour about $5 million into it over the next 3 years, he's going to be there with Jon Rahm playing.
What's that, Bruce raising his hand in the back with some clarification maybe?
Very close.
If PIF is pulling out, who's like enforcing LIV's side of the contract, and won't they eventually run out of money for lawyers to enforce said contract?
Louis Vuitton, Travis Scott.
Yeah, they have a CEO.
Yeah.
Scott O'Neal.
Is Bryson really shocked?
Bryson DeChambeau.
Bryson said he was shocked that Piff pulled out. Really?
He said there's communication.
This guy's got no...
It was described.
What are you talking about? Everybody was told that they were in it to win it.
Described as a bottomless pit.
It doesn't matter if you have $7 quadrillion. You don't want to keep dumping trillions and billions into it and not getting any return.
That's kind of what we were.
Especially
if you have $7 quadrillion, you're not worried about
especially when there's a force majeure situation.
Yes, you are.
But it did feel as if, they kind of changed it all. It feels like they kind of changed it all. Because at the beginning, this was kind of the money that they had over there at LIV. They said it was golf, but louder.
There's no way you could do this again.
And they said, we will support you.
Okay, I'm watching it.
They put everything in there, $5 billion worth in there.
Yeah.
And they said, you got it, everything you possibly need. We're going to go ahead and do golf, but louder.
Zoom that in.
And here
Are you jamming in with your other fingers? Why do you have to jam in with your thumb?
Doing?
I jam in, whatever you want.
Don't cover your mouth. You put it in your mouth.
No problem. You take all that money.
Watch this.
And now what are you left with? Piff said, we're out. So LIV's got.
Oh!
Whoa.
Holy shit.
Where'd it go?
Wow.
Where'd it go? No, sleeve. No. Nothing.
It's gone.
It's gone. Money's gone.
All golfers.
So maybe we'll get DeChambeau back in PGA because they won't be able to uphold the contract because they're supposed to pay him a certain amount of money. So maybe it'll be a breach on their end. Maybe Rombo won't be able to get a paycheck from LIV who doesn't have the PIF backing, so that's a breach on their end. And maybe the boys are welcome back into the PGA after they go ahead and groundskeep a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe we got all the best golfers battling every single weekend at every single PGA tournament. That is possible, and I like that.
That'd be cool.
That'd be the one.
LIV was an ass execution of an idea that had a $5 billion budget.
It's not dead
You
yet.
say it was. What do you mean it was?
Yeah,
It's not they're getting infusion of cash, aren't they?
I saw Louis Vuitton, Travis Scott's, okay? I have faith in him. That was good to see. I thought he looked cool.
Yeah.
Guy who's the new CEO of LIV. I hope he does a great job. They've already used $5 billion. I don't know if they have access to another $5 billion, but maybe they won't need it because it's a completely different direction and maybe he has great ideas. Feels like LIV is dead. Yeah, it does feel like that's the case. People's contracts are for another few years. Rahm's gone in there and say, hey, they're really good at contracts.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I'm getting out of this thing unless the entire thing folds, which I guess could happen in the future. But the PGA community obviously now has to live with who do we let. Cam Young had an interesting answer. He said, I won't play against the best man. That's what I do. Let's go ahead and.
He did, but he didn't say just
But
let
he
him
also
in.
said it did feel like you were
felt like-
going all in or not.
Says a handful of them over there that he wants
There's less
to
than
play
a handful.
against every week.
Yeah, but
And that's the only ones we really care about, too, as spectators.
yeah,
as well.
and I think we are kind of pitching this entire conversation just for a few people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
two
just for
to
a few
three.
people. Now those people though were the ones that were poached to go take on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So that's why
they were
I
the
think,
biggest defactors.
Did you see us groundskeepers maybe for the tournaments? A couple of those,
Yeah.
AJ. Did you see that?
Yeah, the old construction worker angle, make them work their way back into a tournament. Yeah, I guess it's not the worst idea.
What if they're a tee box? We've seen John Daly do it before.
What do you mean?
Put a
put the tee between your butt cheeks?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Roll-Up will do that.
Something to think about.
Another idea was they come back to the PGA, they have to play all the events.
Every single one of them?
They have to play all
That'd
the
be
events.
hilarious,
Welcome
too.
back.
Yeah, for 2 or 3 years, you play every single possible event.
All the events until you win one. And then if you win one, you kind of test your way out of that.
I like that.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but you got to play at all of them. And for me as fan, I'll turn on some shitbag golf tournament on a Sunday, and I'll see 2 names that I know, and it'll be good for the PGA, be good for me as a golf fan.
good idea.
You're back in the PGA. Okay, congratulations, you're playing in Wyoming at the Who Gives a Damn thing. Whatever it is. But it's on my TV because it's a PGA tournament, and now you have to play this because you're back in the
I
PGA.
like this idea.
Could also start with strokes.
Okay.
Like, you got $150 million from, LIV. Boom, you're plus 15 to start this weekend.
Oh, because they do that with the FedEx Cup, so they already have precedent on giving strokes.
Bingo.
So this would be no different.
Nope. Same exact thing. It's just kind of a PIF tax.
That's what we're saying, though. We can think of so many ideas. I felt like we were kind of just shooed away on the.
Roll out the red carpet, let him back in, and
This
tell
guy.
him thank you on the way back. Those fat checks, those elevated events.
Yeah, those other players better
Like
thank
this
them.
weekend,
No doubt.
the no cut signature event, ton of money.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Liv.
The 150 flat rate, so you're not just wasting 40 grand just in case you don't make the cut on Friday, and then you have to get back to it on Monday or Tuesday and do all that BS with the sponsors that they
a
used
lot
to
of
have to do.
participation
You're
trophy
welcome.
bullshit talk going on right now.
You're welcome.
Well, I like what you guys are
Smart
spinning.
players.
I agree that it certainly made the PGA better to its players, treated the players better. I think that is very true and real, and I think they would admit that as well. But when it happened, it was very clearly like,
Oh yeah, it was a war.
I'm going to kill you.
It was a war.
Now,
It's messed up.
That dissipated.
they lost,
It's messed up.
and it kind of did fizzle out, but there's going to have to be something. Especially whenever they say, hey, if you come by February 2nd,
Yeah, and
you're back.
Is there a path now, though? Is there a path for anyone to come back? Now
I think somebody's going through. I think somebody's
Brooksy.
going through a year suspension or something, and then Brooksy was an alternative, I think, for a couple or something like
yeah,
that.
he's at the elevated events. The last 2 of them, he went there as an alternate. Did not. No one dropped out of the field, so he left on Thursday. So he has not played an elevated event yet. But yeah, Brooks, $5 million to charity or whatever. But he was they had an option. Cam said it. All these guys had an option. Brooks was the only one that took that option. And now that LIV is folding, they're like, oh shit, I want to jump on that train.
Brooks was never all in.
Let's talk about. He had Nike. He stuck with Nike the whole time.
You're right. He was.
Feels like he kind of. We watched the Super Swing series.
The full swing, yep.
There it is. And Brooks is in a bad spot. Felt like watching Brooks when he made that decision to go to LIV. He thought he was never going to be able to hit a golf ball to where he was aiming it again. That's what I learned from Super Swing.
Yeah.
So when he gets offered $200 million for golf, I think he thought, this is it. This is all I got. Then he found his game again. And he was like, whoa, $200 million. But who am I playing against? Let's see. Hey, everybody else had to give up their Nike deal. I'm not doing that. I'm keeping my Nike deal. Okay. You're going to wear your Range Goats hat? No. I'm wearing a Nike
Smash
hat.
Mouth GC.
No, I'm wearing a Nike.
That's a sick name.
Smash Mouth?
Yeah.
Smash, GC.
Do they still own these teams? Remember they're talking about how you get equity
Yeah.
in the teams and all that? Are they worth anything?
Yeah, they're making a ton.
Investors?
Who's they?
Possibly
The
you.
team owners, Phil and Bryson and Bubba, they're making a ton.
I was pumped to see the amount of money go to the athletes. I don't want to continue to just say that. That's why I stuck up for LIV, because so much money was going to athletes and everybody was grandstanding about where the money was coming from. It's like, well, there's a lot of that money everywhere. Okay.
Everywhere.
So let's
In
not
the
get
PGA.
mad about. And now we all know that. Now everybody on earth knows that a little bit more than he did maybe in 2022. So I didn't like that the athletes were the only ones that were getting grandstanded upon. Like, you can't take that money because it's bad money. It's like, well, I just got Starbucks. I just I was down. They're in everything. Their money. Are we tracing money for everything? So I was always seemingly, people would tell me that I was a pro LIV guy. I'm pro these guys getting a shit ton of money to be athletes. Now, I had eyes and I tried to find a LIV thing, couldn't find it, and it was ass when I found it. And I think I was pretty open about that for a while about that. So I'm happy the PGA and its professionalism and what it is continues to reign. But I would like to see everybody, but I don't think the people that made the decision to take $200 million being waltzed straight back in is fair at all to the guys that turned down $150, $200 million at the time and basically were forced into you're bad people trying to take on things. So I think there has to be something. That's all I'm saying.
It's got to be a path. It's got to be a path where you can play your way back onto tour, and you got to have some kind. You shouldn't have to start from the absolute bottom. There's got to be some kind of way if you have status somehow and you are a guy that's won.
What if
you got to find a way back.
What was that show that the Big Break? Is that what they used to?
That was a great show.
They used to break the glass.
Love that show.
Tic-tac-toe with the glass, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Late night. That was right after the golf fix when you put the tube in the thing.
Big Break was a great show.
Yeah, that's why I bought. That's why I bought this.
Yep.
That's why I bought this right here, the Unduffable. Big Break. They weren't using this. I thought.
Is that like a fairway? Is it like a fairway wood, or is that like a chipper around
anywhere?
I think it's a wedge.
That's unduffable.
It's a wedge. Dude.
Oh.
I don't duff.
Can you turn it sideways? Can we see it?
Turn that
I want to see the
sideways.
full. Okay, I got it now. I'm okay. I thought it was like almost like a wood.
And by the way, put that head on a brick wall.
Yep. Coca.
Coca. Cola.
Yeah.